Hi, it's Gary. Well, welcome to today's video. Start of October. Years flying by. October, start of Christmas really, isn't it? This month, what I thought I would do is I'm going to focus on pens from Europe. I've got a number of different manufacturers, so I thought, yeah, let's give this a go. So join me now down on the mat and we'll take a look at this month's pens. Here we are down on the mat. Let's take a look at our first pen. So the first pen, this comes from Germany, and this is a Lamy or Lamy Safari. Nice, simple pen. I'm going to be honest, I've struggled with this pen in the past, and I'm hoping I've got an ink that works well with it. I'm determined to like the pen. I know it sounds really daft, but I am determined to like it. I do have a Lamy All-Star, which is identical shape, but made from aluminium. That's what I write these titles with because it's got a 1.5 stub nib on it. But I thought, yep, let's give this another go. So we've got here a Lamy Safari. This has got a broad nib on it. The ink by Diamine, and it's called Beethoven. Nice green ink. Had this ink ages, but it's the first time I've had it in a pen. I bought it actually about a year ago because my wife was looking for a green to do Christmas cards with, but she wasn't happy with this, so it's just sat in my drawer and I thought, come on Gary, let's use that up today. Drying times, so we have immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Oh, that's dried off quite a bit. 1 minute. After a minute, that one's nice and dry. As I say, I want to like this pen. You know, we've got a nice black nib on there. The nib actually looks really nice with this charcoal body. Pen's a cartridge converter. And we've got that little window, so we have a rough idea of the ink level. But this was the Lamy or Lamy Safari. Pen number 2 for this month. Not the smallest pen we're going to look at this month is the Kaweco Sport. This is in the white translucent plastic. You know, it's a simple looking pen. It's small, it's a pocket pen. You know, if I try to hold it there without it being posted, too tiny for me. Posted though, actually works quite well. It's nice and comfy. I would like a wider section, but it's a pocket pen. I know what I was getting. So this is a Kaweco Sport. I've got a 1.1 nib in here. Helps if I put the 1 there, doesn't it? It's a small looking nib, but it writes really well. Do you know, I've just realised I forgot something. The Safari was 37 Aussie dollars. The Sport is 34 Aussie dollars. I know, I've got the prices out of order. I should fire myself for that. The Kaweco Sport, like the Safari though, it's a German pen. It's a nice pen. I say it's a pocket pen. It is small. Cartridge converter, you can see there. I've actually got a converter in there. My other Kaweco Sport, all I do is refill the cartridge that came with the pen. The ink in here is a Korean ink. It's Dominant Industry Lungo. The name of the ink though, although yes, it's a Korean ink, but Lungo reminds me of coffee, which then reminds me of Italy. Drying times, there's immediate, 10 seconds, a lot faster drying, 30 seconds, teeniest of smudge. Let's go belt and braces and we'll go for the 1 minute. And after a minute, as we'd expect, were now nice and dry. So this is the Kaweco Sport. I'm going to leave this here for a second when I fetch the next pen in. The next pen is the smallest pen I've got. So far we've had 2 pens from Germany. And I've got to be honest, a lot of the pens I've got are from Germany. This next one is a German-made pen, but it's made for a British company. So it's the Cult Pens Mini Fountain Pen. And it's made for them by Kaweco. But just look at these 2 pens. If I put the caps, there we go, let's turn it around. You can see how thin this mini is. And I knew I was getting a mini fountain pen when I ordered it. It's just a lot smaller than I expected. Let's get the Sport out of the way. This pen is metal, whereas the Sport, that was plastic. It's got that small Kaweco nib. We've got a Kaweco cartridge in there, and all I do with this cartridge is I refill it. So I just give it a good clean out each time and then refill it. It's another pen. Look at that. That's unposted. Posted, a little bit better. More or less usable, still very, very, very thin. So this is a Cult Pens Mini Fountain pen. Just going to call it fountain there. The nib is a double broad and it cost 50 Aussie dollars. The ink, this is a Chinese ink. It's Ancient Charm, sometimes referred to as Ancient Song, and it's Fisherman's Song. This ink, it's a grey colour, but it's more like blue tending. There's a lot of blue tones in there. I quite like it. It looks different. And even on here, we're seeing we've got some nice shading coming through. Without posting it, I'm going to attempt to do my drying times. So we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 1 minute. And after a minute, that one's nice and dry. This is a small pen. I'm going to be honest with you, when this pen runs out this month, I'm not going to refill it. I might refill all the other ones, but this one, I'm just struggling really to find a use case for it. But saying that, it's a nice writer. So it'll be interesting to see how I get on with this pen during the month. So that was the Cult Pens Mini. Just going to reposition the paper. We've got 3 more pens. Let's get all 3 areas there on the page. My 4th pen. It's still a smallish pen, but certainly nowhere near as small as the last 2. It's the pen that I've had since 2009. And it's a pen that if I was to sell off all my other fountain pens, I would not be selling this one. This is a Parker Sonnet. So I've had this since 2009, and it was a gift from some of my grandchildren. Not sure if you can see the inscription there. It's a steel nibbed pen. It's a nice pen. Let's take it off. We've got a cartridge converter in there. So I've got a cartridge. I do have a Parker converter somewhere. I just couldn't find it. So all I did was use an existing cartridge that I had. One of the issues I've had with this pen in the past is I get some kind of leakage. So whenever I use it, I end up with the ink all over my fingers. What I've done prior to filling it is I've pulled out the nib and the feed, give it a really good clean, put it through the Sonic cleaner a couple of times. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. So this is a Parker Sonnet. It's a medium nib. The price I'm going to give is a price that I saw you can buy it for today, which is 146 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine, and it's writer's blood. I really like this ink. It's a nice wet ink, and I thought I want to give this Parker the best chance to shine. You know, I've had it for so long, and it's got that meaning for me. So I thought, let's give it the best ink I can think of. And that's why I went for Writer's Blood. Drying time. This is immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Well, 30 seconds and that's dry now. And I usually find with Writer's Blood that it's one where it lasts for 2 minutes. So as a combo, this is actually fairly dry. So this is the Parker Sonnet and Diamine Writer's Blood. The fifth pen, I've got a number of Italian pens. The one I thought I'd go for this month is the Leonardo, and this is the Furore. And this has got a 1.1 stub nib on it. I love this white salt. I think it looks really, really nice. One issue I do find with it, and you can see here, is the ink gets between the nib unit and the section. So you actually get a little bit of staining. But if you take out the nib unit, it does clean up very nicely. This is a piston filler. Well, it's not actually. It's a captured cartridge converter. So I can go there to fill it, or I can take the body off. There we can see the converter. Not sure if I'd rather this was a piston filler, because I do like being able to see the ink levels really easily. This is then a Leonardo. Furore. And it's another one where I've got a 1.1 stub nib on it. Cost wise, we were talking 230 Australian dollars. The ink by Diamine, and it's Earl Grey. I think this grey ink actually looks quite nice here with this white salt. You know, when you turn it around, there are lots of like the darker, the grey type shades in the material. And I quite like the look of that as a combo. Let's look at our drying times. So we got immediate, 10 seconds. Wow, another fast dryer. 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds, that's nice and dry. But when we saw it was like, well, to be honest, even with the immediate, that's not a surprise. So here we have the Leonardo Furore, and I love this Diamine Earl Grey in there. Final pen for this month, we're going to go back to Germany. I did debate doing another Italian pen, but I did that Italian month not long ago. So I thought, look, right, let's go and do another German pen. Just going to move this up ever so slightly. There we go. Let's get this last pen in. The last one, this is the Diplomat Aero. So from Germany, as I've said. This is in the factory, so it's like the raw aluminium. But then we've got this gorgeous trim that goes with it, which really offsets that. I think this looks so pretty. I know there's lots of different colours in the Aero, but this one just spoke to me when I saw it on a website. Number 6 size nib, and it's another one, cartridge converter. No way you could even think about eyedropping this, it's just virtually all metal. Really nice. Nice feel in the hand, nice wide there in the section. A little bit short feeling, but I think that's because of the shape rather than the actual length. So we've got here a Diplomat, Aero. It's another broad nib. I do like my broader style nibs. Cost wise, this was 263 Aussie dollars. The ink, well, it's another dominant industry ink. This one's called Lake. I think that's a beauty with this raw finish. You can put any colour in that you want, but I quite like these blues with it. Drying times, so we got immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, After a minute there, that one's dry as well. So this is the Diplomat Aero and Dominant Industry Lake. So it looks like we've got some faster drying combos this month than we have had for the past couple of months. Looking forward to getting into these. Let's fetch in the pens for one final look. The pens and inks I'm going to be using during October of 2022 European month. Lamy Safari with Diamine Beethoven. Kaweco Sport with Dominant Industry Lungo. Cult Pens Mini The Baby. Ancient Song Fishermans Song. The Parker Sonnet with Diamine Writer's Blood. A Leonardo Furore with Diamine Earl Grey. And a Diplomat Aero with Dominant Industry Lake. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Have you got any European pens? What are your thoughts on them? Why not drop a comment down below? Are you using a theme this month for your pens? Again, why not let us know what theme you're using? How are you coming up with the pens that you use each month? Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.